before we just react and start doing rather ridiculous things, that fear pushes us into a level of emotion that very often makes absolutely no sense at all. We have to be very careful before we start taking action based on a feeling that an evil spirit has produced that very often has no reality at all. Fear, F-E-A-R, has been said to mean false evidence appearing real. Say, I will not fear. Now, I want you to remember that fear comes from the devil and faith comes from God. It's almost like every good thing that God tries to give us, the enemy tries to ruin it with some kind of poison. Or another way to look at it is every poison that Satan tries to bring into our lives, God has the antidote. And the antidote for the poison of fear is faith. The minute that fear comes, all we really have to do is release our faith. Now, that feeling of fear doesn't always go away, but our faith will keep us going. And even if we have to do what we do afraid, or actually that means do it while you still feel fear, the main thing that God wants us to do is keep going forward, doing what we believe He wants us to do, and not back off because of the fear that we feel. It probably could not be counted the number of people who totally lose their God-ordained destiny, because when they try to step out in faith, fear comes with all the what-ifs. Matter of fact, I think probably there are relatively very few, considering all the people in the world, there are probably relatively very few people who end up actually boldly doing everything that God has for them to do in life. Everything that God has is better and more powerful than anything that Satan has. So no matter how powerful and overwhelming fear feels to you, remember that faith is greater. Faith is greater. You say, I don't have any faith. You do have faith, because unto every man is given the measure of faith. Romans 12:3. Unto every man, not some men, unto every man, and that means woman, child, young, old, unto every man is given the measure of faith, the measure of God's faith. What does that mean, the measure of faith? It means however much you need to do whatever it is you need to do in life. Whatever your life holds. Some people may go through a harder time than maybe somebody else, but God will give you the faith for that, if that's part of your journey in life. Whatever you need to do, and I want you to get this part before I move on. Whatever you're going to face in life, whatever you are facing,